Thank you all for joining us for our Hello Health Health Literacy session this month. My name is Caroline Price. I'm your standing host and the administrative officer with the Connected Care program, and I will let our speaker introduce himself today.
Hello, my name is Adrian Jones. I'm the Environmental Health Director for the Food and Lodging section here in Cumberland County.
Perfect. So we will jump right in to our topic this month, which is environmental health. So what would you say are key focus areas within environmental health?
I would say the key focus areas are on-site water protection, which deal with the wells and septic systems, food protection, public swimming pools, inspecting tattoo establishments, also inspecting child care facilities, school buildings, and also our child care lead prevention program, as well as solid waste. Those are some of the programs that we do.
Okay, perfect. So how would you say environmental health as a whole impacts our daily lives and well-being as a community?
Yeah, that's a good question that you asked, because a lot of people don't realize the impact that we have in the community. So, for example, anytime you go to a restaurant, we're involved in that process from the very beginning, from permitting through the time it's open, and we still go in and doing inspections. Also, if there's a home or any building being built in an area where there's no public sewer, we have to go out there and do the soil evaluation to ensure that that place can have a proper building put on it. We also do public swimming pool inspections to make sure those facilities are safe for the individuals swimming.
Okay. So what role would you say that environmental health plays in preventing various health hazards that might come about in our county?
Okay, I mentioned a while ago about on-site wastewater. Mm-hmm. So one thing we do, we go out to the sites, we make sure that the site is suitable for a system. So we do a soil evaluation, because we don't want to put a system in soil that will not be suitable for the site. So we check the soil to make sure it can handle the sewage that's going to be running through it. Otherwise, you have sewage backing up, and we don't want sewage surfacing, which can cause other problems in situations. We also inspect, like I said, pools. And with pools, a lot of people don't realize we have to go out there and inspect the pools and make sure that the chemical concentrations are correct, that so prevent the growth of bacteria like E. coli or Legionnaires, something like that. And we also, when it comes to pools, they have what they call bather entrapment. So when we inspect the pools, we want to make sure that we check the pump, and then we're also checking the main drains, because there have been some situations, not here in Cumberland County, but there have been some situations where individuals have died because they have the suction of the drain. So we check those pools to make sure they are in compliance. And we also do inspections of various food facilities throughout the county. And we do that to make sure, or try to ensure that we prevent the spread of or prevent foodborne illnesses from occurring. For example, we'll go in a facility and we'll make sure we check that the food is coming from an approved source. We'll make sure that the food has been cooked to the proper temperature. We'll also make sure that the individuals that are working there are using personal hygiene, washing their hands properly, making sure they're clean, because that's, even though that's something, it seems funny, sometimes you go in a facility, employees themselves are not clean. Mm-hmm. They may have body odor, the hair is dirty, so sometimes you have to figure out a way to try to address that. So you talk to a manager, say, hey, listen, can I talk to you about this employee? Because I think sometimes it comes better from the manager rather than the inspector. So those are things we look at as well. And we also look to make sure also that the food is being held at the proper temperature once it's cooked. So those are some of the things that we do to ensure safety in the community.
Perfect. So basically what he's saying, everyone, is they're always on the go. They're always running around, mm-hmm. always have something to do, whether it's food service, right. Environmental. That's sounds like you guys are always on your feet.
Right.
So what would you say as far as clean water goes? What would you say the steps are that you all take to make sure that we have clean water in our community?
Okay, for clean water, what we do, we have a well program. So basically what our well program does, if there's an area where there was no public water, we'll go out to that site before a building is built, and we'll go out there to determine where the well could be located. And what I mean by that is a lot of times the well, there are certain setbacks for wells. Like for example, a well has to be 50 feet from a septic system, or 10 feet from a property line, 25 feet from a building. So what we'll do, we'll go out there and we'll make sure that that well is meeting those proper setbacks. So we'll go out there, and once it does meet the setbacks, we'll write a permit for that well to be constructed. And once that well is constructed, we'll make another visit to the site to ensure that the well contractor built that well according to the North Carolina standards. And so once we check that, and if everything is in compliance, we'll take a water sample. And when we pull the water sample, when the results come back, we'll share those results with the homeowner to let them know whether the water, if it's good to go, if it has fecal material in there or E. coli, we'll let them know what steps to take to try to get that out of the water. And if other materials are in there, like nitrates or anything like that, we'll also let the homeowner know that as well, so they can take the proper steps to mitigate that.
Okay, perfect. So when it comes to just environmental health overall, how would you say our health department addresses issues around pest control, waste management, food safety? What are some of the steps that you all take to ensure those issues are met?
Because of pest management, with pest management, one thing we do at Cumberland County, we offer mosquito dunks to the residents. They can get a pack of mosquito dunks if they have any kind of standing water in the property, and that will kind of help eliminate the mosquito situation. And we also, if we get a complaint about someone that may have a lot of junk in their yard or with overgrown grass, we'll go out there as well, and we'll deal with the homeowner trying to get that situation rectified. We do routine inspections of food service establishments to make sure these establishments are following the correct food code, North Carolina regulations. So we're in there periodically. Sometimes some restaurants we're in there 2 times a year, some 3 times a year, some 4 times a year. So basically we're in there, and our role is to do what we call risk-based inspections. So we look at those high risks to try to prevent any kind of illnesses from occurring in the establishment. And also when it comes to waste management, we have a solid waste program where we permit every solid waste hauler in Cumberland County. So anytime you see a garbage truck around the county, we're involved in inspecting that truck. So what we do every year, they get inspected. We put a sticker on the truck, and they're not allowed to enter that landfill until they have the current sticker on that truck. So, and we do that to try to prevent. We don't want a truck driving down the street and all kind of juices just dropping in the street. We get a complaint from a customer, and it has happened in the past. We get a complaint, and so what we do, we'll follow up with that owner of that business and say, hey, we got a complaint, your truck is leaking, sewage, whatever. So we'll go ahead and make the owner fix that issue.
Wow, I'm learning so much. Did not know all these little details. What role would you say that the community plays in making sure that our environment is healthy?
Okay, as far as the environment, community, I would say, we know it's summertime now. So one thing I'm going to say, as far as in the summertime, a lot of people have a lot of cookouts. And so you have cookouts, you invite family and friends over. So one thing I would say is important that kind of like some of the same things we require for restaurants, I would say it's good for individuals to do the same thing at their cookouts or barbecues, whatever you want to call them, making sure food is cooked to the right temperature. One important thing I would say too is hand washing. A lot of people don't do that, so that's very important to you to wash your hands. Make sure food is cooked to the proper temperature, making sure once you do cook the food that it's covered and protected. You don't want flies on the food, things of that nature. So making sure you follow the proper steps to protect that food. And one thing I would say, talking about cookouts and things of that nature, a lot of times people, they'll call and say, well, I got sick at such and such restaurant. And a lot of times, or sometimes, it could be what they failed to do themselves. So that's why it's very important for you as a community, when you have these functions, to make sure you also take the proper steps to preventing sickness or illnesses from occurring. And also one thing I would say, if you have pools in your yard, swimming pools, what that you can do also is make sure, like I mentioned earlier about pools, make sure you also maintain your chemical quality as well. And also being sure that because one thing people don't realize, when you're in a pool and everybody say they don't do it, everybody swallow some pool water. I've swallowed some pool water. So when you swallow pool water, you don't know what's in that water, okay? You can get E. coli, all kinds of diseases from that water. So it's very important to make sure the water quality is maintained as well when you're having these pool parties or inviting people over as well. So
yeah, a friend of mine, they have an above ground pool, and she spends a good month or so, roughly every Memorial Day around that time, around May, trying to get the pool ready. And I've seen her take multiple trips to the spawn pool world, trying to make sure that she gets the chemicals right.
It's to get it down to a science. It's a lot involved with a pool.
Yeah, so I've witnessed that firsthand. So, so looking at harmful environmental factors, how would you say that individuals can reduce exposure to those out in the community? Okay,
I would say just like you wear sunscreen to protect your skin from the sun rays. One thing, it's summertime. We know a lot of mosquitoes are coming out this time of year. So one thing I would say what individuals could do is make sure they get some type of insect repellent. And I do encourage them, if you can, I know it's hot, to wear long sleeves, especially if you're outside for a long time, because that will protect your arms. And if you don't want to wear long sleeves, like I said, wear the insect repellent. And even when you wear your long sleeves, you can put what they call permethrin on your clothes, and that will also help with the mosquitoes as well. And then one thing that people can do as well is in their yards, people don't realize they have a lot of things in their yard that can hold water. So a lot of times if you have old tires in your yard or old piece of equipment that you're not using that holds standing water, you want to get rid of those things, because those things can breed mosquitoes. And people don't realize mosquitoes can breed in a small cap of water they can breed. So it's very important, if you have things that you're not using that hold standing water, to get rid of those things. Also, if you have things that you don't want to get rid of that hold water, for example, like a bird bath, at least once a week, you want to dump those because mosquitoes can breed in those as well. And also, if you have like your flower pots, things of that sort, you want to make sure that those are dumped every week as well, because once again, they can also breed mosquitoes. So those are ways you want to do to try to prevent, cut down on the mosquito population, because we know mosquitoes carry West Nile virus and things of that sort. So try to do all you can to prevent any type of illnesses from occurring related to mosquitoes.
Perfect. So what would you say, or are there any rather current environmental and health initiatives or projects that are going on in our county that you're aware of?
Well, I would say what we're doing now, I mentioned earlier about we offer mosquito dunks. So if someone wants to come and get some mosquito dunks, we give 1 pack per home, and there are 2 dunks in a pack, and each dunk lasts for 30 days. You can pick up some of those. We also have a limited supply of radon kits that individuals can pick up. Every year we offer twice a year rather, we offer the rabies clinic once in the fall and once in the spring, so individuals can take advantage of that too as well. We also, just this year, we started the Spanish ServSafe course, so teaching ServSafe in Spanish. So that's something that individuals can take advantage of as well.
Awesome. That's really cool. So what are some of the challenges that you all have faced in environmental health, especially with the growth of our population in this county?
I would say with the growth of the population, one of the challenges are a lot of, when it comes to population growth, there's a lot of building, whether it be businesses or whether it's homes. And so what that means, if they're in unincorporated areas where there's no public sewer, the issue comes into play where is a lot size large enough to accommodate what needs to be done. Because as I mentioned earlier about setbacks, even with septic systems, there's a setback for the home, from the property corner, from the well. So a lot of times if the lots are too small, the individuals can't do what they want to do because there's not enough space to carry out the plan or the requirement for the septic system. That's one of the challenges that we are dealing with.
So, and kind of piggybacking off of that, how would you say that schools and businesses can collaborate with us here at the health department to improve environmental health overall?
For schools, I would say what they can do, they can invite us in to some of their classes to talk to the students. And I think it's very important, even for young students, to kind of give them exposure to environmental health, to let them know what it is that what we do, to let them know what environmental health is. So if they invite us in, we can come in and talk to the students. Also, if they have like the career day, we invite them to have us to come in to the career days to talk to different students about environmental health as well. And one thing that we are doing currently with FGCC, we have collaborated with them. One thing we do is we teach a food service managers course, and we do that several times throughout the year. And then another thing we do with FGCC is we do what's called our annual food forum. So this year would be our third time collaborating with them to bring this forum for the public. So that's what we've done so far with FGCC. And I also want to mention that there are some schools in the state, for example, East Carolina University and Western Carolina, they have some accredited environmental health programs. So if anyone's interested in environmental health in students, that's one place or two places they can look at to kind of find out about that.
Yeah. And what about like our larger businesses? How can our businesses improve environmental health as well?
Okay, as far as businesses, and one thing, a lot of times business, they look at us as the adversary, and that's not our role. Basically, we're in there to try to help them out. So I would say what businesses can do is they can contact us, especially if they have any issues. A lot of times, businesses will have issues. For example, maybe the water heater went out, or maybe the coolers went out in the restaurant, or maybe the power went out. So instead of telling us these things, they'll try to operate, or they're afraid to contact us. So I say just collaborating with us and let them, so they'll know that we're there for them. We're not there to hurt them. We're more like a partner. Even though we're enforcement regulators, we also are educators. So our job is to help them, not to harm them. So if they would just contact us when they have those issues, and if they have issues with employees where they need some training done with the employees, we don't mind going into the facilities, training the employees on proper food handling. If it's child care, things in the child care they need to be trained on. Anything that sort, we don't mind going to the facility and teaching them those things.
Perfect. We've learned quite a bit of information today as far as beneficial information around environmental health. So just wanted to say thank you all for joining us today for this Hello Health session. Thank you, Adrian, for being here with us today as well. Again, you all are able to watch our show today on YouTube as well as on Cumberland County NCTV. So again, we'll join you all next month for our next telehealth session. And thank you again for joining us.